We are Rogue Media Sports.
They say champions find ways to win football games. I say Liverpool just need luck. They just need luck. And Manchester United, after all the hype, watching Manchester United was just not it. It was just not it. This is Mind on Football Fans podcast, people. We're back. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mind on Football Fans podcast, your go-to for all things Premier League football. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode. We're back right after the international break. I hope you all rested and enjoyed the international break. If you watch international football, I hope you enjoyed it. The World Cup qualifiers were on and going in the various parts of the world. I hope you all enjoyed that. But we're back. The Premier League is back. Club football is back. And it could not be back better than ever. Oh my God, people. The drama, the tea, the excitement. It had everything. This is Matchweek 4 of the Premier League. But before we get right into it, I just have to always start by saying thank you so much to all our amazing subscribers. For those of you who subscribe to the channel, thank you all so much. Kisses to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, yes, those of you who haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. You all cannot just be watching and just spamming through. So please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. And don't forget, this is not the only place you can find us. Listen to Mind on Football Fans podcast on all podcast platforms. Check us out. If YouTube is not your vibe, that's okay. We're on all podcast platforms. So check us out, please. Check us out. Thank you so much. And don't forget our socials. Check out our socials, Instagram, TikTok. We post short content there for y'all. So thank you so much. And don't forget, we also have live watch-alongs where we watch games with you guys. So I'll be announcing the next one at the end of this episode, so stay tuned for that. But yes, match week 4 of the Premier League, as I said earlier, did not disappoint, and we're going to go straight into it. As I said in my intro, they say champions always find a way to win. But I'll tell you guys, Liverpool just needed luck. They needed luck to win this game. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. I'm watching this game and I'm like, is this it? Will Liverpool finally drop points? Would we be, obviously, I don't think we would have been equal. And when I say we, I mean Arsenal, because obviously I am an Arsenal fan, if you cannot tell already. I was like, would this be the time Liverpool drop points? Liverpool could have dropped 2 points and then to just be a 1 point gap. You know, obviously after beating Arsenal 2 weeks ago, Dominic Soboslai and his crazy freak. We're not going to talk about that. Anyways, but yeah, and I was like, Liverpool, is this where they finally drop points? Because if you did not know this now, you know Liverpool were the only team, and really are still the only team with a 100% record. And I mean, when I mean 100%, I don't mean plus draws. I mean 100% as in they have won all their matches this season. And with 2 minutes to go, I was like, is this finally the time Liverpool break that 100% record? Well, it wasn't. I was wrong, people. My hopes were shattered. My dreams were broken. What is the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. I don't know what I'm looking for here. The dream I had shattered. I don't know, people. I was shell shocked. I was watching this, and it was like immediately that penalty was given, the wheels were just taking off me. I just lost all vibe, really. Like I was watching this game with so much vibe. Because 60th minute 0-0, I'm like, Liverpool haven't scored. Okay. 70th minute 0-0, Liverpool haven't scored. 80th minute 0-0, Liverpool scored. 90th minute, they haven't scored. And I'm like, can Burnley do this? And Burnley could not do it, people. Burnley could not do it. Hannibal gave away a penalty. And that was just heartbreaking. People say football is a crow sport, and yes, it is. It is a crow sport because Burnley defended for their lives. Bear in mind that Liverpool were not at their best. At best, they were at 60. In fact, 60 is a stretch. At best, they were at 55. They were at 55%. If you watch that game, Liverpool were at 55% at best. But Burnley still defended for their lives. Burnley tried everything, and they were so close to leaving with a point. but handball, penalty, handball, Frimpong comes on, plays the ball, hits the hand. And obviously Salah, like if you're watching the game and you thought Salah would miss like me, well, I guess you are as crazy as me. Because obviously I am crazy. To think Salah will miss a penalty in the dying minute to win the game for Liverpool. Again, people say champions find a way to win. They did not find any way to win this game. It was just pure luck. Pure luck was on their side. They just happened to play ball, and handball just did this, and the rest is history. So Liverpool remained perfect, 4 for 4, 12 points in the bag, top of the Premier League table. Wow. It's so sad. Again, for Burnley, crew just did everything you could. Scott Parker prepared his boys to play ball. Again, Liverpool were not close to 60, but they were not. Before we all left for the international break, last episode, we were just before the transfer deadline day. And I said Liverpool needed to get a centre back. They were so close to signing Mark Gahey. If you lived under a rock and you did not know that. They were so close to signing Mark Gahey. But they ended up signing Alexander Isak for what? 150 mil? 140 mil? Something along those lines, right? And I'm like, do they really need him? Now, does that change my prediction? No, it doesn't. I still have Arsenal winning the league. Because again, Liverpool 2 weeks in a row. I mean, again, we go back to the Arsenal game. They were not at it. Let's even go back to the first game of the season. Liverpool have not even been close to 90%. 90%. I'll say at Bournemouth, they played like at 75, and they were lucky. Newcastle, they probably played at like 60, and they were again really lucky with that kid coming on and scoring the goal. And then at Arsenal, 65, and then Dominic Szoboszlai just had a magical moment and he scored. This one, they were 55, and it just happened that handball hand was like this, a handball. Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, so did they really need Isak? Only time will tell. I don't really know what it is. I don't think my prediction still stands. Arsenal is winning the lead. From those 4 games I've watched, luck runs out, people. I'm telling you, people say you put yourself in position so that luck will find you. Well, I think they have put themselves in too many positions that luck is tired of finding them. Like I'm telling you guys, luck will get to a point where luck is just like, I'm done. I'm done. Other teams need me, I'm done. And it is what it is, and I can't wait for that moment. So I still have Arsenal win the lead. Right. So yeah, kudos to them. It is what it is. And a slot, manager of the month, kudos to him. Dominic Szoboszlai, goal of the month, kudos to him. Isak is a Liverpool player. He was not in the team this week. This is what it is. He needs to build his way to fitness. They play midweek, so we'll talk about that in a minute. They play midweek. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe he might play. Maybe he might. Maybe we might see him next week. Maybe we might not. It depends. Like Arno Slot said, we did not get him just to be here for 2 weeks, or we did not get him just so that he can help us for 2 weeks. We got him here so that he can help us for the next 6 years. So he still has 6 years. It's okay. It's all good. Moving on to what we'll term as the match of the week or the game of the week. Manchester Derby, Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. Now, in case, again, if you are living under a rock and did not know, Manchester City signed Giorgini Donnarumma. I don't, his first name, we all can debate that later. Donnarumma from PSG, or I don't know if they signed him from PSG or rather he was a free agent. Right, he was a free agent and Manchester City signed him after they sold Ederson to Fenerbahce. And again, I'm going to sidetrack for a bit, right? Ederson was sold to Fenerbahce, right? Onana, Manchester United's goalkeeper, was sold to Troy's the name, it starts with a T. Trizoid, I think. Trizoid. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it starts with a T in the Turkish league, right? And both of them played this week on this today, like literally today, same day as Manchester Derby, right? Opposite ends. And obviously Manchester Ederson, Fenerbahce won the game. Ederson won the game. So Again, little sidetrack. But yeah, Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. Manchester United looked off it. Like, they looked off it. Like, I've watched Manchester United 4 games now. And other than the game against Arsenal, where I was like, they actually played football. Last 3 games against Fulham, against Burnley, lucky not to draw that game. And I guess Manchester United off it, miles off it. Now, bear in mind, Manchester City were not also on it. Manchester City was like at 75%, maybe 75%. But it was just enough for them to get the win. Manchester United, if they had better attacking players, or rather a better system, and I'm not going to dive into that about Ruben Amorim's system because I don't think that 3-4-3 is working. But that's a conversation for another day. You all can discuss it in barbershop. But if they had a better system, or if they could just play better, they could have done so much damage. And this game would have finished 3-0, right? It could have probably maybe been 3-3 or 2-3 or something along those lines. They probably might not have lost it. They might have lost it. Who knows? They might have won it. We all remember what happened last season. And I'll say Manchester City played just as bad as last season. Like don't get me wrong, the 3 goals were amazing. Like the goal again, Doku folding for the first goal, heading it in. Then Haaland, second assist for Doku after the nutmeg by O'Reilly on Ugarte, and then wonderful skill by Phil Foden to get the ball to Doku, and then Doku just played behind the line. And then Bernardo Silva just finding Haaland in his own half straight. Like, he wasn't going to miss that, So other than those moments, really, I don't think City had anything, really. And then obviously the big chance where Haaland missed. But so those 4 moments, other than those 4 moments, I think City was really mediocre. Mediocre might be a stretch down. They were just good enough to win the game against a terrible Manchester United team. And we'll leave it at that. Again, Manchester United has me thinking my predictions. I had them finishing 5th because of what I saw in preseason. But what I saw in preseason and what I saw against Arsenal has not been what I've seen. I don't know if that's right in English. I'm sorry, people, but just stick with me for a minute. What I saw at preseason and what I saw against Arsenal hasn't been it wasn't what I saw. Okay, let's start this because Manchester United has me thinking my words right now. So let's restart this. Manchester United, right? What I saw against Arsenal and what I saw in preseason made me think, okay, they can finish 5th, right? But then if we go back against Fulham and against Burnley and then now against Manchester City, this team ain't finishing above 10th place. This team ain't finishing above 10th place, people. Based on those 3 games, this team ain't finishing above 10th place. Lucky wins, maybe they might get lucky wins and then maybe lucky draws. 10th max. If they keep playing like this, if Robert Amorim keeps playing like this, if he doesn't fix the system. Because again, this 3-4-3 doesn't work. I heard a stat where the last team to win the league with a 3-4-3 system was Chelsea, Antonio Conte's Chelsea. Remember that season? How many years ago was that? 2016, 2017 season-ish, I think. That was a while back. That was the last team to win the league with a 3-4-3 system, people. So, anyways, we use Manchester United, I know where they're at. But just saying, Robert Amorim probably needs to change his system. But that, again, I'm not here to debate that or talk about new systems for that. You all remember what I said in the first episode. Was it the first episode or 2 episodes where I said Mason Mount and all that stuff? To be honest, and before I leave this, they do not have the personnel to play that system. They do not have the personnel to play the system. You can't keep playing Bruno and Ugarte as the 2 in the midfield. Bruno cannot defensively do that. That's not his game. Bruno is a 10, or if you be more, he's an 8, 10, whichever one you feel like playing him at. He's better in the creative side. He cannot defend to save his life, And Ugarte, maybe if you have a better person, better partner for Ugarte, maybe you can see him play ball. But no, it's just not it. But yeah, credit to Manchester City. After back-to-back defeats, Pep had not lost 3 of his first 4 games ever. So there was also that on the line for Pep. But yeah, credit to Manchester City getting done. Manchester United again. This team ain't finishing above 10th place. Right. Moving on. My Arsenal 3, Forest 0. Forest. I think we all pretty much saw this coming from a mile away. After all that has been going on internally between Nuno and the owner of Forest. I can't really pronounce them, so I'm not going to try. We all kind of saw that he was probably going to be gone. And he was sacked. He was terminated, his contract terminated. And come in big Ange Postecoglou coming in to replace Nuno Espirito Santos, just like Tottenham, just like the Tottenham days. Or rather, was it Ange that replaced Nuno? Or was it Nuno then Conte then Ange? I forget, but we all know the cycle of what happened at Tottenham. And now we have come back to Forest. And Ange, 4 days before this game, Ange was hired as the next Nottingham Forest head coach. I didn't really expect him to do anything. 4 days, again, the players coming in, he pretty much just had like one training session, maybe 2 max with them. So I didn't really expect Forest to really do anything in this game in terms of causing trouble for Arsenal. But what I did expect was Arsenal making sure they put their foot down. Coming off the unfortunate loss against Liverpool, I expected Arsenal to put their foot down in this game. And their foot down they did, right? They put their foot down. Zubimendi was amazing. The volley, wow. Did you guys see how the ball curved? Like, if you're watching on YouTube, you guys see if you're listening, the ball pretty much curved. Go back and watch the highlights. You see how much the ball curved. But good game for the likes of Zubimendi. Matchweek, can we talk about Noni Matchweek and how he cooked? It was a lovely week for Matchweek, coming off his England debut where he scored his first England goal, and then he just tormented that Forest right-hand side. Right, he tormented, completed the most dribbles, created the most chances, pretty much everything you expect a modern winger in the Premier League to do. He pretty much did. Forest could not keep up. He tormented Forest right-hand side. It was crazy. Shout out to Non Madueke. Shout out to Eberechi Eze too. First assist, first goal contribution in the Arsenal shirt for Eberechi Eze. I was so happy to see that. And to who else but Victor Gyökeres. 3 goals in 4 games for Victor Gyökeres. For those of you who said he will struggle, he is not struggling. He has 3 goals in 4 games. And this is pretty much what Arsenal signed him for. Games where it looks like it might end 0-0 or where it might look like Arsenal might struggle. He was signing to get goals like this. Yes. And if he pretty much does this all season, I'm telling you guys, right? And you all can hold this. He doesn't really have to score in the big games. We love him to score in the big games, but if you just keep scoring in games where last season it would have ended 0-0, if he scores in those games that gives us 1-0 win, 2-0 win, those type of wins, we can handle the big games. We've seen Arsenal in the big games. Arsenal can win the big games. We've seen them do that. Just in those little games where it's ended 0-0, right? Victor Gyökeres coming in to get those wins for us would be amazing. So yeah, shout out to Arsenal. Comfortable win, comfortable results. The new boys fitting well. And shout out to Christian Mosquera. Again, he came on against Liverpool, did an amazing job, and he started again for Arsenal against Forest and did a splendid job. He looked comfortable. He looked to play progressive balls. And can we talk about Arsenal squad depth for a minute? Arsenal squad depth is crazy. That's probably a big thing from Arsenal. This is their squad depth. You can see the likes of Declan Rice down. You can lose the likes of Odegaard. You can lose the likes of Saka. You can lose the likes of William Saliba. And still have people that come in and it looks like Arsenal haven't taken a beat. Literally, that's what it looks like. So yeah, shout out to Arsenal squad depth. I will leave it at that. Moving on, because we're not going to touch too much into all the games in terms of detail as I'm doing here. But before we skim through the other results, West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. Now, I don't know what I'm really talking about this game, other than the fact that I think Tottenham might just finish fifth. It might not be Manchester United. I'm only really talking about this game because I just want to say that I believe instead of finishing 6th, as I predicted, Tottenham will, let me pause my will, might finish fifth. Tottenham might just finish fifth. When we come in December for our mid-season prediction, I might change that to fifth. That's the reason why I bring this game. But yeah, good result for Tottenham after again loss before the international break, where against Bournemouth, the 1-0 loss against Bournemouth at home. Yes, they ended up bouncing back 3-0 against a struggling West Ham, really. West Ham are just all over the place, or really all over the place. Souček with the red card, he couldn't even argue with it. It is what it is. He was more apologetic, really, than everyone tried to defend it, because that was really high. Like, if you watch the game, you could see how, like, what's his name? Polinian socks. Literally, you could see the tear on his socks, right? So yeah, good result for Tottenham. Again, the only talking about this game because I might just have Tottenham finishing fifth instead of sixth. Again, amazing job by Thomas Frank. Again, the reason why this team will finish in the top six. Moving on to Chelsea to Brentford 2, or rather Brentford to Chelsea 2. It looked like Chelsea were heading for the win again after the 95th minute goal by Moises Caicedo. I look like Chelsea were going for the win, but then a long throw. Again, the long throws have come back. There are a lot of trends that have come back in Premier League, kind of old school football. The long throws, the kicking the ball to the opponents, and on a goal kick, like all these trends just coming back. Old school football, like literally. But yeah, from a long throw, which was pretty much Keith Andrews' job, pretty much set pieces. Like that was his previous job. He was the set piece coach, right? And throwing technically is kind of is a form of set piece, right? And Chelsea conceded from a set piece, from a long throw, they just couldn't keep up, and they conceded, drawing the game 2-2. But Cole Palmer is back, so that's a big plus. Cole Palmer is back. So, and he scored on his return, so good for him, good for Chelsea. It's not a bad point really for Chelsea. They are still unbeaten in the league, so that's a plus for them. When we look at the big picture in terms of, when I say big picture, I mean in terms of what they are going into, right? Because after this game, they have a Champions League game this week, pretty much on Wednesday against Bayern Munich away from home. Then after that, they play Manchester United. Away from home. So back-to-back away from home games, right? A draw, not a bad point, but still, when you look at those two fixtures coming up, it would have been nice to go into those fixtures with a win. That's all we'll see on that. So, but yeah, good points for both teams. Again, Brentford might not get relegated. Keith Andrews might just know what he's doing. So, yeah, credit to him. Moving on, we'll breeze through these results quickly, right? Moving on, Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa are the only team that haven't scored a goal this season in Premier League. They are the only team that haven't scored a goal this season in Premier League. Again, it's a good point for them. I think they sit 19th in the league. 19th with just 2 points. They have lost to, drawn 2. What is going on with Aston Villa? What's going on in the Emery? What's going on? What's happening? Come on, talk to us. What's going on? Is there a change that needs to come? Is there a change that's coming? We're like, okay, maybe it's the fact that they don't have the players. They haven't signed anyone. They need fresh faces. Well, they signed Jadon Sancho. They signed Harvey Elliott from Aston Villa. Jadon Sancho alone from Chelsea. Okay, fresh faces have come in. They signed Victor Lindelof, free agent. Okay, fresh faces have come in. Okay, so maybe that's it. That's something of a change. Well, that didn't really look like anything against Everton. Everton really looks like the better team. Like, Everton was so lucky. Martinez made some really good saves. Everton was so lucky not to get 3 points from this game. They had to settle for 1. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Aston Villa. This is what it is. They sit 19th. But if there's one man that can turn things around, it's Emery. Emery is the one man that can turn things around. So yeah. Shout out to Everton. Solid point. I believe Everton sits 6th in the league with after 4 games. That's crazy. That's crazy to think. Moving on. I'm sorry, people. My TV is on and Law and Order. Isn't Law and Order? Whatever. Something is playing on TV, and that's crazy. I don't even watch it. But anyways, moving on. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0. Wolves again unlucky. Oh my God, what's his name? What's his name? Nick Pope. First 10 minutes made some crazy saves, or else this game should not have ended 1-0. Nick Pope coming to the rescue for Newcastle. Newcastle Wolves should have been up 2-0 in the first 10 minutes. But Nick Pope with some crazy, magnificent saves. And then it just had to be their record signing. What's mad? What's mad? I'm probably botching it, right? Coming up with the goal. And they just hung on. Yes, what matter? Yes, coming in clutch for Wolves. Sorry, for Newcastle, scoring on 29th minute. And Newcastle just hung on. They literally just hung on. Newcastle sold Isak to Liverpool. Isak is gone. The drama is over. Brought in Walter Mada, the record signing. Brought in Johan Wissa from Brentford. Good bit of business with the Isak money, good bit of business. So yeah, credit to Newcastle finally getting their first win. I believe this is their first win of the season. Yes, this is their first win of the season. 2 draws, 1 loss. 1 loss being against Liverpool, 2 draws, and their first win. But yeah, shout out to Newcastle getting their first win. Moving on to the other results. Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0. I don't really have anything to say to this, other than the fact that McGahey stayed. I think is a big plus for Crystal Palace. I saw something that pretty much was like, and I'm going to spend a few minutes to just touch on a few things now that we're here, right? The first thing is that I saw something where Oliver Glasner was like, if McGahey was sold, right, he's walking out. That was crazy. That's crazy, really. That's like intense stuff. But McGahey remained the professional that he was and continues to be. Remained very professional with it. Did not, again, people are like, well, you throw a tantrum and you get your move. McGahey was professional, stayed put, did not get his move. I feel like he deserved it. Deserved to go to a team like Liverpool, competing in Europe's top elite competition, competing for titles. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no scrub on Crystal Palace, right? But Crystal Palace is not Liverpool, Like, yeah, Crystal Palace is playing in Europe. They're playing in Conference League, but it's not the Champions League, Crystal Palace is not competing for the Premier League. Like, there are levels to it, right? And I think he over the past few years, he's played so good to deserve that move. And it was just so sad for him not to get it. I believe the reason was because they could not get someone as good enough or up to the level of McGahey. So, and then obviously Oliver Glasner threatening to quit, really. So that's the only thing I'll say from this game, because that's the big update for Crystal Palace. This game really was a kind of a snooze fest, to be honest. It was a good point for Sunderland, because Sunderland, their 2 wins this season, or their points this season have come from home wins, home games, home wins. So it was a nice point away from home for them. So yeah, moving on. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. Good result for Bournemouth. Bournemouth have started this season fire. 9 points. 9 points from possible 12. 9 points from possible 12. And Iriola has these boys playing ball. I'm happy for them. I'm up for them. I think they are an amazing football team. This might just be their season to play Europe. Last season they were so unlucky. Towards the end, they started to fade out. Right? They were so unlucky last season not to get that European places. But I think this is their season. If they keep this up, I'm telling you guys, this is their season. So shout out to Bournemouth. Brighton unlucky. The penalty was just stupid. Van Hecken, stupid, lazy defending. Lazy defending from Van Hecken. But yeah, it's credit to Bournemouth. They deserve this win. I'm sorry, I'm trying to check something quickly. But yeah, moving on. Last game, Fulham won, Leeds nil. Fulham deserve this. Fulham have played so good over the past week that I think this was deserved. I'm not even trying to triple you all. This win, they deserved it. They deserved this win. Last 2 weeks ago against Chelsea, where obviously the goal was ruled out. I don't think they deserve to lose that game, to be honest. I don't think they deserve to lose it. What was it, 2-0? I don't think they deserve to lose. Worst draw. Best, they won the game. Again, if that goal had stood, who knows? Maybe they would have gone on to score more. Maybe they would have held on. But they were so good. Their play deserved a win. Leeds unlucky that it was an own goal. But Fulham did everything they could to get the win. So yeah, shout out to Fulham, first win of the season. Okay, before we round up, I mentioned earlier in the show some Champions League matches, midweek games. Yes, people, the Champions League returns this Tuesday. I don't know about y'all, but last season I enjoyed the group phase of the Champions, like this new format. I really enjoyed it. And it's not just because Arsenal finished third or whatever. I really enjoyed the fact that teams had to play playoffs just to move on to the next stage of the competition. I really enjoyed that, right? And I think I can't wait for this season with the amount of teams that are in. The fixture list have come out. Just some notable fixtures from Matchweek 1. Matchday 1. Juventus plays Dortmund. Arsenal plays Athletic Club. Tottenham play Villarreal. Real Madrid plays Marseille. PSG play Atalanta, reigning Champions League winners. PSG host Atlanta at the Parc de France. Bayern, as I mentioned earlier, host Chelsea. They host Chelsea at the Allianz Arena. Ajax takes on Inter. Liverpool welcome Atletico Madrid. People say Atletico Madrid have the worst fixture list because I think they have Arsenal and some other people, but people say they have the worst fixture list. They travel to Anfield to take on Liverpool. You all remember what happened last time Atletico Madrid went to Anfield, right? And I'm not the only one tripping, right? You all remember the last time they went to or was it? Yeah, it was Atletico Madrid. You all remember that, right? Copenhagen, Leverkusen, Newcastle, Barcelona on Thursday. We get 3 days of Champions League football, people. I'm excited for it. We get 3 days of midweek football, right? Newcastle, Barcelona on Thursday. St. James Park welcomes the almighty Barcelona, right? And then Man City to round up the match day of the Champions League match day 1. Man City welcomes Napoli. Wow, that would be fire. Champions League be fire. I can't wait for that. Amazing fixtures. We'll talk about Matchweek 2 when we get to Matchweek 2. That will be 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from today. Matchweek 2 will be 2 weeks from today. So can't wait for that on the Champions League. That has also some really juicy fixtures too. Wow, that has really juicy fixtures. If you don't know, well, go check it out. Matchweek 2 has some juicy fixtures on the Champions League. But yeah, so Champions League begins this Tuesday, and then we get 3 days of Champions League football. Wow, it's amazing people. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I go, I said I'll tell you guys our next watch along. Our next watch along will be Saturday. This next match week 5 of the Premier League has 2 big fixtures, 2 mouth-watering fixtures. Sadly, we won't be able to give you the watch along for the 2 fixtures. We'll just give you one, and that is Chelsea playing host to Manchester United this Saturday. Chelsea host Manchester United at Stamford Bridge this Saturday. Our watch along will begin. We'll be here 11 p.m. Central Time. For those of you in the East Coast, it would be 12 p.m. Our watch along will begin 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Central Time. 11 a.m. Central Time. I hope to see you out there. Where actually I misspoke. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Manchester United welcome Chelsea to Old Trafford. Yes, that's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, people. Yes, Man U, Chelsea. And then the second big game that we will not be able to have the watch along for that is Arsenal playing host to Manchester City at the Emirates. Oh, that'll be a big one. I can't wait for that one. I'm so sorry that we'll have the watch along for that one. But join us for the watch along, Man United, Chelsea. That'll be a mouth-watching game. Belter of a game to watch. So, yes. But yeah, that brings us to the end of Matchweek for that. So Liverpool, luck was just on Liverpool side. Last minute penalty, Mo Salah converted it to keep Liverpool perfect to start the season. 12 points from 12 points this season, 4 wins out of 4. You also saw Arsenal comfortably dispatch Ange Postecoglou and Nottingham Forest 3-0. Manchester City painting Manchester blue in the Manchester Derby after Erling Haaland scored a brace for a 3-0 win against Manchester United and Chelsea, falling last minute to a 2-2 draw against Brentford. I hope you all have an amazing Sunday or an amazing rest of the week. As always, I'm David. Don't forget, this is not the only place you can find us. Check out Man on Football Fans podcast on all podcast platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you. To all our amazing subscribers, those of you who have subscribed, kisses to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have an amazing week ahead. As always, I'm David. I'm out. Peace.
We are Rogue Media Sports.